Ben-Sion Bluestein came to the Old Bailey from Israel, but his testimony took the court back to his youth in Belarus. He described how the Nazi invasion in 1941 created terror. He said Jews were forced to wear yellow patches on their clothing and had to bow before every German they met in the street. Speaking in Hebrew through an interpreter, he told the court that a rabbi and 40 of his congregation were shot by the SS after being forced to drag a heavy cart for many hours. He wiped away a tear at the memory. Mr. Bluestein also became distressed when he recounted the fate which befell the town's Jewish barber. He said the man saw his 3 sons shot in front of him and was ordered to bury them. One of the boys was still alive and cried out, but the father was beaten until he complied with the order. Last week, the jury went to Belarus to see where the alleged crimes were committed. Today, they heard that winter conditions in the Jewish ghetto were so bad that if somebody died, people were jealous. The defendant, Antoni Sawoniuk, was said to have behaved cruelly whenever he wanted. He became a lord over us Jews, said Mr. Bluestein, who'd known him since childhood. The court also heard that Sawoniuk had worked for the Jews before the war. But, said Ben-Sion Bluestein, everything changed when the Nazis turned their lives upside down. John Silverman, BBC News at the Old Bailey.
Teaching unions say the latest league tables for primary schools in England provide yet more evidence of the link between poverty and poor standards. But some schools in deprived areas have defied the odds and shown a big improvement. One of them is Calverton Primary in East London. Our education correspondent, Sue Littlemore, has been there to discover the secret of its success.
Parents need good schools, but good schools need good parents.
Good morning.
Every day, head teacher Sharon Hollows makes sure she mingles with the people whose support is vital to the school's success.
I was just wondering how Kelly was getting on. Doing really well, yeah.
To build parental support, Sharon has drawn up homeschool agreements, contracts which set out duties and responsibilities.
Sometimes if children are falling asleep in school, like this child for instance, then we'll ask the parents to make sure that child goes to bed on time, and we'll actually negotiate a bedtime that both the parents and the school think is suitable.
4 years ago, when Sharon Hollows took up her job, she also took up the challenge of turning round an unsuccessful school which was serving a poor community with many social problems.
When I first arrived, the place was unsafe. Children used to attack each other, missiles flying across the corridors. I used to feel as if I was walking down Bosnia High Street. The first thing that we did was sort out the behaviour, and we felt that the best way to do that was to inform parents very, very rapidly if their children were behaving badly, so that they could support us and do something about it. We send letters by post so that children can't throw them over the wall on the way home from school.
3 years ago in maths, just 8% of 11-year-olds reached the level expected for their age. Last year, 71% achieved that. Pupils are now taught in sets, split into groups according to their ability in maths. Today's primary tables generally confirm that in deprived areas you tend to get worse results. But schools like this show sometimes you can buck that trend. Sue Littlemore, BBC News.
And you can find those results in full on the BBC News website, News Online. That's at www.bbc.co.uk/education news.
Now, some people, it seems, are spending too much time on the internet rather than on their families. Divorce used to be blamed on problems like money or work, but now there's a new factor. Research from America suggests that internet use is now the 3rd biggest cause of divorce in the US. And the problem is getting worse here too. Peter Hunt reports.
Hi. Dating by email, the latest way to net a partner. The film You've Got Mail shows an affair that starts on the internet. It's been released at a time when experts in America are blaming addiction to the information superhighway as the 3rd most common cause of divorce after debt and alcohol abuse. But at a conference today of internet companies, some delegates thought the dangers were being exaggerated.
People probably spend time online that could be better spent with their families, but the internet cannot be the cause of the downfall of marriages.
The internet's got that far, it really means it's got where we want it to be, which is pervasive. You know, it's affecting society.
Marriage counsellors here say in the past, people with relationship difficulties used to complain about their partners spending too much time in the pub. Now they're seeing clients who say their other half is online for too long.
I'm not knocking the internet, I should say. I mean, I think it's got a lot of values and a lot of uses. But if you are finding that you're spending a lot of time on it and that's getting in the way of your relationship, then it may be a good idea to have a look at your relationship and what's going on there.
At the moment in this country, just over 1 in 10 people regularly use the internet. As more people start surfing, the potential for problems is likely to increase.
Certainly men spending far too much time online. I've got a number of case studies where the females say that their husbands are spending anything up to 16 hours a day online, and obviously that means they're neglecting the partner, they're neglecting the children and neglecting their job, and that is going to have a significant impact on the family life.
If you're addicted to chatting to a stranger on the internet rather than chatting to your partner, therapy is at hand. There's only one problem. You have to log on to reach the cyber couch. Peter Hunt, BBC News.
The FA Cup fifth round replay between Arsenal and Sheffield